Hello everyone and welcome back. We've got another game in store for you, one that potentially could be absolutely effortless for Effortless, or a match that is going to be full of razzle-dazzle for your main man, Waz. I'm excited to see how it goes, and I feel like you probably will be too, Ryan.
Yeah, I think this is quite a nice, I guess you could say it's a mid-card match. I think the two guys are pretty evenly matched in terms of like how their results have been going so far, number 6 and number 4. There's... it's what you would expect at this stage in QPL. Let's not forget, for those that are joining, QPL, its week-by-week basis is dictated by points at the time. So if you have a good week, you're likely to face off against the Hang or a Rafa or something very similar. Or if you kind of go back and forth, you're likely to face off against others that go back and forth. And that's very much what this match is between Waz and Effortless. How to call it? It's kind of hard to say. I think the expert prediction is actually very similar in that respect, where it's kind of like 2 here, 2 there. For a quick reminder for those that wonder what the numbers mean, all it means really is that the player that has the minus symbol, it's the difference in frags the expert prediction has been projected to be. So, the larger the number or the greater the difference, then the bigger the advantage is assumed to be so. And there's a lot of 2s here, which kind of, as we've seen so far, it's pretty standard, And if you look on the Hang versus Chain, for example, a -5 is projected to be pretty damn significant in the Hang's favour, And then you do a 0-0, deadlock even. So that one's impossible to predict, I would imagine, is what the expert opinion is on that one, with 0-0. But yeah, so that's generally the TLDR of it. So I guess we may as well kick things off, have a chat about Waz for a little bit, and I'll just talk about what to expect in the upcoming match. Waz is, he had the bye week in week number 1, and I think he's just been... He's been very back and forth, hasn't he, as Waz? He's definitely not one of the players he's not one of the players that we're worried about, but he's a player that definitely has some ups and downs.
There's moments of absolute greatness that comes out from him, but it feels like right now he's in a little bit of a... I don't know. I'd say he's sort of plateaued a little bit. It feels like, he's not really stagnated, but he's not really ascending too much more than we expect. And you really know that you could get an awful lot out of him. Waz definitely a contender to do an awful lot of damage. We just need to see that return to form. And I feel like maybe today could be a bit of a display of that style of play coming out for him. However, Effortless being his opponent, I've got to say, I've got some stock in Effortless at the minute. I genuinely believe that Effortless is actually on a position now to do an awful lot of damage. He's been looking pretty sickening on some of the stuff he's been doing, and I feel like if he carries on with that sort of trajectory, he could actually be a pretty fierce contender.
He did come off a incredibly good result for himself last week, securing himself a 3-0 versus Sib, and a 3-0 a week before will always only ever be just a momentum shift for you. And that's always talked about quite a lot, and I guess you can't really undersell it. It is important. It's always important. But yeah, this matchup, I definitely think it's kind of hard to call. Prediction-wise, it's a question mark for me. I really don't know who I think has the upper hand. I think if we're going by general success in Quake Champions, you would give it to Waz. But Quake Pro League seems to be proving to be quite a different beast, and the results that you would expect are not what you would expect. If you give any Quake Champions tournament at all, and it's Dramis versus Cygib, I'm almost pretty sure 99 out of 100 people would probably have gone, oh yeah, Cygib's got that. But obviously we just saw today that results don't always go the way that you expect, because players are leveling up all the time. And that's what these weekly tournaments will do. I believe we have the picks and bans and VO, so we can see what to expect coming up very, very soon. There it is! Thank you very much, guys. Blood Covenant first, Awoken up next, and then Corrupted Keep to finish things off. Champion selection is also very, very expected.
Yeah, all things sort of, fairly acceptable to come through and what we expect. I don't know, it's a weird one to predict, even off the back of the picks and bans here, of what we've actually got to come through. Corrupted Keep for me is actually going to be the most interesting one, honestly, of what I've got my eyes on. I always love seeing a bit of the BJ come through. Waz on BJ could actually be pretty damn fun as well, because he's someone that is very flashy in the way he approaches the game with his style of aim. Effortless, you know what, Ryan, I'm going to go for it. I feel like Effortless has got my money on this one. I genuinely believe that he's going to be able to take it, although I do think this is probably going to be a 2-1 split.
Yeah, if I'm going by old results, I would go the same count, but I'd go the opposite way.
Right.
I feel like by pure Quake Champions itself, I think Waz has just had historically a bit more success.
Yeah.
And he's had some tricky opponents in the past. So, we can't judge him on previous results, and we'll go by what we think it might do right now. I think 2-1, but I think Waz.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair enough, right? Whaz is also someone that we know can actually really pack a punch. Both of them did get their wins over Sib as well. Obviously, with Whaz taking him on, back in, was it week 3 or was it week 2, I believe? I really can't remember at this point. I've thrown that out.
You're asking someone that has quite possibly the worst memory in the world.
It's fine. I think we're both tied for that.
I don't think I was here. Was I here? See, that's the problem. I don't even remember what weeks I've done. That's how bad it is. How late is it here? Have I got an excuse for being tired?
Probably not. It's not as late as normal. It's early.
It's only 9:45. It's not very late. Oh, damn.
It's rough.
Can we do this again, guys? Take 2. Ow, I hurt my hands.
Wow, you alright?
No, medic. I'm down. Help. Help. Oh, my hands hurt. That's why my memories.
There you go. That's why you forget.
Bad hands. That's what it comes.
That's Quake, everybody.
Down to
Quake Pro League. Yeah, there we go. Descent into Madness. Fantastic.
Yeah, I blame my lack of sugar intake. I didn't get enough sleep last night.
It's okay. It's okay.
I do hope the first map is ready soon so we can cut this awkward silence with a machete. Almost. Thanks, guys. Thanks for just hang in there, guys. Just hang in. Just hang in there. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, going back to what we talked about at the very beginning, there's the running theme about the Americas today, which I think is just about there's quite a large group of players that I think will be kind of battling out for what we'll call the comfort zone. And Effortless and Whaz, I'd kind of put them on the upper end of that so far with how they've been playing so far. Interested to see how this result's going to go. I don't think either of these two are at risk of relegation, but it'll be nice to see how high they can place by the end of the season, that's for sure.
Well, we're going to find out. We're into it. Whaz versus Effortless. I think this actually should give us a pretty good insight into both of where these players are currently situated. We're going to start off with big man Effortless, though. And he's already got himself a fair few weapons to work with. He's got the rocket, he's got the rail as well. And he is already looking quite fierce as he tries to open it up with the initiation rail, Ryan.
And I really do rate Ranger on this map. Ever since the very beginning, we've always seen the Dire Orb sort of combo of collecting multiple weapons at the same time. You know, he's the only champion in the game that can kind of collect 2 pickups at once. And it's something you kind of have to always expect. You know, it's in so many ways when you start a duel and you realize what spawn you're at, it's always weighing up. Right, what are they going to spawn near and what weapons do they have? Ooh. It lets you change your decision. Yeah, caught swapping weapons at a pretty bad time. Effortless missing some crucial shots too. Forced to retreat, tail between his legs, but we'll see how long that's going to be for. But yeah, my point was that Ranger commands a different start, and if you're against Ranger, you kind of need to assume he's going to have more weapons than you would normally have.
Okay, we've also actually seen him now be able to pick himself up an LG. We're about a minute in. There's only been a little bit of a kerfuffle. There's not really been too much commotion to write home about, although that is definitely going to be a big piece of the pie. Effortless just getting annihilated there with 2 rapid-fire rails being delivered straight to him off the back of Whaz. Now, this is a good way to start things off. He's looking for more, and he's still landing those tags as well. Whaz, looking good. Oh.
Gets the perfect read, but he's looking kind of vulnerable on the way. Not going to be super disappointed yet. He's going to get the Mega, but as always with the light champs, you have to look at armor. And there should be a light nearby. Yeah, he's a bit of a delay. If there is a light champ and, you know, there's a Mega, getting the light armor is kind of one of the more predictable routes someone will try and take. So you have to kind of second guess it a couple of times, only when the coast is clear. But yeah, I think Whaz can now start to establish this slow-paced game, which is what he's doing. You know, he's sitting there and he's looking for some information to follow. And it'll be interesting to see what he does next. He's pretty low on the rocket department. Again. Oh, the traded rail. Neither hit their mark, but Effortless missing, going in for a second rail. This should be a big punish, but he's a rail as well. Yeah, consistent, but nothing crucial just yet. Fortunately, he gets some more rockets, which is only ever a good thing. You can never have too many rockets.
Whaz right now in a fairly good position overall. As he's just going to be roaming around, seeing what he can actually spot out here, firing out those initial rockets. As Effortless starts to put himself back up on the high ground, trading out on the rails, but they're both barely missing. Gets the connection across, does tag him, but they're still making this one way more awkward than it needs to be. Whaz on the aggressive now. Lost a lot of his armor, still has the HP to play with though. Effortless' stack is way higher. Nice movement coming around from Whaz to navigate his way around the map and restock himself. This puts him to a better position, fires out the warning shots. The rocket barely going to miss, switches out to the rail, tries to go for the heightened approach as he bounces back up, but Effortless is fancying none of it, although he's still caught on the escape off the back of the rail.
We're seeing a lot of nice rails, but we're not seeing a lot of rails that mean a great deal, and that's actually becoming quite a problem, because the rail is only one piece of the puzzle with these fights. You have to be able to finish it as well. That said, whaz going towards some more ammo. Effortless pressing the advantage, but more misses will be punished with a little bit of damage, but once more, it's no frags just yet. The thing is, whaz still doesn't have any rail ammo, and that's actually one of the things that Effortless might take as a bit of a win. I guess you would assume, why is he going towards rail, right? Is this guy going to be out? But he's down to just a heavy machine gun so far, and if Effortless can maintain a rail instead, then he's kind of got a bit of an ace in the hole in that respect. But here we go. Should be able to undo it, get some ammo. Yeah, thank you very much.
Now he's actually completely reset across the board as well. Everything's back up, so he's going to be sitting pretty off the back of that. Isn't really going to be too worried about what he actually has to play with now. Although, you need to hit those rail shots, or do something a little bit sneaky like he's up to now with a downwards dog on the rockets, trying to land those and really rip him a new one. It will get a bit awkward, but luckily the Mega comes out just in time. whaz is tremendously low, and finally goes down.
Quite a few of these fights have come across as a little bit awkward, to be honest. There's just been a lot of these weird misses. That was nice. Not one of those cases. And I almost feel like that was whaz understanding, hey, Effortless and I have both been missing some weird shots, so maybe if I fly in, he's not going to hit it. Bam! Instantly the opposite of what we were all expecting. So, Effortless coming online, if not temporarily. Barely misses the rail, but there's a few more opportunities. whaz giving himself to Effortless on a silver platter. And I think, well, Effortless seems to be reaching that next level. Now it's whaz's turn.
Yeah, that was actually really sick. Things are starting to ramp up now. Maximum effort from Effortless at this point, as he's really starting to get into the game. Fires off the warning rockets. It's a big chase coming around. Nice prediction. The dire orb in. Oh, he's so low. Surely he doesn't get away for free, Ryan.
I mean, even at that health, he needs health to get away. There's one small health bubble near SSG, but it won't cut the mustard. There's a whole bunch of armor left, and there's a bit of a timer on that, giving Effortless time to run in and maybe even steal it away. If he's quick, he might be too slow. I think it's just about... And yeah, whaz. Intelligently, whaz doesn't overstay his welcome there. If he got ambushed, he did not have the stack to take that fight. He would have died for sure.
Effortless, looking a little bit impatient now with the prediction rockets coming out just on the off chance, making a little bit of ruckus as he roams around. Now actually holding, listening out for the audio cue, gets the control of Mega, going to drop himself back down. That's the restock, which actually comes in at a critical time as well. He needed the extra LG ammo, and he might put it to use here. Instead, it is going to be the burst that comes across, trying to just burn his way through the stock that whaz has. That's actually nicely executed. They're both at the same position. Goes in for the elevated angle.
That was such an amazing rocket jump, Jackie. That rocket jump was off the chain. And now, can he even turn this one around? The wall jump's going to keep him alive, but barely. Uh-oh, going in, and he chases it, misses the rail, but whaz does not. That was a bit of a clencher all the way through from start to finish, but whaz is the one that finally takes it. There's still work that needs to be done. It was only one frag, and we need one more. Effortless falls down. And I mean, you set him up, I'll knock him down. No dire orb's going to be used because it was used to steal away. And just like that, Jackie, it's 3 for 3. How crazy was that sequence?
Yeah, that was actually really nice. Pure frag movie level stuff right there. The cinematic that we wanted to see. Oh, they spot each other, and this is where the aggression starts to come into effect. You can see whaz really looking quite confident to now try and go for these fights, realizing tied up 3-3, we're at 7 minutes. If I can get the advantage, push the advantage right here, right now, take us to a 4-3 scoreline, I can then try and go for a delay tactic. Instead, though, he's so low, he has to use it to escape. He can't use it to be too aggressive. It was calculated, though. Holding the angle after he backed off could have worked out well for him. Instead, we fall into, again, a bit of a stalemate. Restocking himself up, finds the hourglasses, tons of damage done from the LG. He wants this one, Ryan, and it might come his way.
There's plenty of time left to make something happen, too. I definitely think this might be one of those maps that comes down to, you know, watch out for that rocket, whaz. Almost went into it direct and missing the rail. Obviously, that's going to be unreturned damage here. I was going to say, I think this might come down to one of those final frag situations. Because I mean, it's hard to call. I feel like Effortless had that one moment where he just exploded. But, you know, whaz, it's more awareness coming through. He was being a bit careless, and that's why he conceded those 2 frags at the very beginning. Effortless was, understandably, missing quite a few shots. And man's like, oh, he's probably going to just miss again. And then, bam, you know, these sick rails just came out of nowhere.
Oh, talking of sick rails, that's what whaz wants to do here, as he is beginning to punish. Gets himself the bubble as well to try and restock his health ever so slightly. That's going to be the armor pickup that will really come in clutch. Hourglass is secured as he's just using the momentum he's now got. they're actually burning their way through all of the time they have available to them. If he can get a kill now, he might actually secure the victory for himself already. If not, it looks like this could actually be going into a sudden death scenario here, Ryan. But, oh, the fight coming back through.
Well, we should know that Waz did, well, he did, past tense, have a magnificent stack. Effortless, calling the bluff and doesn't teleport towards the orb, and the LG at the last second, coming in hot. Effortless now back to the wall. Desperation time, we're going to make something happen. We have 1 minute to happen. Now, can he do it? Off the spawn. Spawning near the catacombs, he only has an LG, so yeah, he doesn't have a lot. Props for trying and going in, but Waz is going to take that fight because he knows he only has a shotgun and an LG down there. That's not a huge amount for Waz to fear. And he just went in for the kill. And now it's 2 frags down. It's only a rocket launcher. Did he even have the opportunity to get the rail? Who knows, because Effortless goes down again. That one frag that didn't go in his favor, and Waz intelligently going off the spawn and just doing the maths, really.
Yeah, now he can actually just have free reign to fight if he wants to. At this point, it's so unlikely that Effortless will be able to overthrow and beat the current scoreline that he has available to him. So he's actually going in for more and more and more, just trying to push out the confidence and really lock it down for some last-minute fun-time frags. But at this point, it seems like it is basically as good as done, Ryan. Take it out the oven, it's done.
Yep. At this stage, all we have to do is leave it to rest and cool down, because that's going to be one map, and we have a little bit of time for that to happen, as now we're going into number 2. And yeah, I got to say, evenly matched for the most part. It all kind of fell apart for poor old Effortless right at the end, but that was just a matter, I think, of just Waz having a good game sense, if anything. Just understanding that we finally get a favourable frag, and then he's in a position where, I know you're going to spawn in the catacombs, for example. I think of all the spawns, that was probably one of the worst ones Effortless could have had, because there's nothing down there, and if your hand is being forced where you've got to try and make something happen, an LG and a shotgun on that map is nowhere near enough.
Yeah.
And also, you're a sitting duck. And, spawn near rocket, once again, wasn't really the tool for the job. And a last minute, I guess, acceleration that Waz saw. But it took the entire map to reach that point. There were definitely moments of Effortless, signs of life, fighting back. Definitely not going to count him out, but that was going to be Waz's number 1. See if he's going to make it a 2-0.
Yeah, I mean, overall, if you look at it just for what it was, right, Waz definitely seemed to have a slight advantage just in terms of the majority of the game, especially once he gained control. He was just one step ahead of Effortless in a lot of the firefights he went for. The direct hits with the rockets he was landing were very crisp. Both of them were landing some really quite gnarly rails. Like, that was the difference maker to just get themselves into the game, was how precise some of those rail shots they were actually landing. So if that's a factor that's going to be kept up throughout the rest of the series, it's definitely going to provide us with some fun moments.
Well, we'll see what happens next. It's going to be Awoken as our next map, so naturally things will always change. Blood Covenant, one of the more, I guess, fundamentally focused maps, and it always has been. And then you take something like Awoken, which is, it's a bit of a fan favorite at this stage.
Yeah.
The players really, really love Awoken, and if you ask people what their favorite duel map is, it's kind of like always within that top 3 for a lot of people. But it's naturally quite different, and we always say that because the rotation of maps, that they always bring something new to the table. But in this instance, it's going to be a lot more, I think, firefight focused is Awoken. And so far, it looks a little bit to me like there were moments of greatness from Effortless, but right now it kind of looks like Waz has a little bit of a better fight whenever they manage to break one out. So I kind of think we're going into this. I still think we're going into this one advantage Waz. I think this could very well be a 2-0. But it's kind of hard to gauge. It depends on both of the players at the very start of that map took a while to reach potential. There was a lot of sort of like fumbled fights where the rails were just missing their mark, and it was like, hey, you got to hit that one final shot, and neither of them could, and they kind of disengage, take more time, build back up, hit rails, fight almost happens, miss a shot again, and about 2 or 3 minutes of that map was kind of wasted on just bad fights from both sides.
Yeah.
So I think this map, we're actually going into this one with the question of who's more ready instantly, and that's going to make a big deal going into map number 2 for sure.
Potential factor as well, at this point they've already played a map, so there might be a little bit more weight going into this. Your reflex is going to be on the ball now. You've had your early morning flicks coming through. You should be a little bit more pumped getting into it, so maybe not as lethargic, because some of the shots, as you said, they were a little bit of an awkward miss here and there. That's why we actually saw that change of aggression, right? Because otherwise it was It was a much slower affair, but we're back in Map 2, Effortless versus whaz. Let's see if things are different or what is going to be the case. As we know, this can provide us with some ridiculous moments.
We have some Awoken champion picks. Doomslayer coming out from Effortless. I feel like if it's Awoken, you're, almost guaranteed to see the Slayer at least once throughout the course of a broadcast. That double jump just makes such a huge difference. You can see it here. Just the ability to go wherever you want without being hindered. It makes a big difference. And Sorlag, it's just movement and stack more than anything. Easy to cycle around those important pickups. Plus, Acid Spit always helps.
Effortless looks to try and kick things off early here. It was a nice opening rocket. If he would have landed the rail, things actually could have gone a little bit differently. Instead, though, it doesn't really work out the way he wants to. He has got whaz's stack low, but is he going to fully commit to this? Will he actually charge in deep? Or opt to try and play the slower game and more defensive style?
We're looking for those rail angles nice and early, though. Got to be careful there with Sorlag. I think the rail makes a big difference against Sorlag because you don't want to dive yourself face first into a fight versus a stack that large. Least of all with, I think, also the chase down ability. And if she lands that shot, she can go deceivingly fast quite quickly. Effortless missing these rails is going to allow whaz to be aggressive, but we are seeing some damage come through, but the rail's not enough to kill. With 5 HP remaining, you know that Effortless kind of put all of his eggs in the basket of this is going to kill, because it was the downtime that got him killed at the end.
Yeah, it's an awkward way to start things off, already being 1-0 down. He can come back from this, but he has given whaz time to completely restock and also keep that confidence booming. Oh no!
Oh my word! I can only assume. Surely he got hit by the rail mid double jump or something, and he just had his momentum stuff. Please tell me we got that on the other side. Oh, we got it! We're gonna see it. Thank God for that. I'm going to assume he got caught in a double jump and got more height, because that's pretty high up for that ledge.
Yeah, and obviously it's just booped him straight out through the crack, through the crevasse.
Oh my god. Well, the one thing Effortless needs to do is A, not get tilted by that, and B, not get tilted at just how much whaz is constantly surviving by. Okay, there's the suicide coming through, so now it's going to be undone, and wonderful little rail on the spawn. Classic little spawn trap here on Awoken.
Well, both of them suffering a bit of a blunder so far into this one. It does mean it is only the 1-0 lead so far, so there is an opportunity for them to actually continue on and start to do some damage. whaz just playing around for the restock right now as he wants to get his overall stack back up. He does have an awful lot to play over in terms of his tools of destruction, though. Effortless. Going out with the pre-fire rockets, expecting him to actually push towards him. Instead, whaz is just playing it really slow. He also has his spit available to him, and he's going to entry in off the back of the LG. That's the spit to try and deny the jump back up as well. Repositions to at least grab some stack. That's a nice tag. And now things are scary for Effortless.
Collects the heavy too. If you're one of those heavy champions, max health and then armor is in many ways sometimes a bit more scary than Mega by itself. The more armor you have, the bigger you can kind of just force your way in, take those crazy fights the way they come through, and whaz consistently having more stack too in these fights, which is making a big difference. Effortless has not really been able to hit those kind of like preemptive rails that you're supposed to land before a fight breaks out. I think that's why Sorlag is so dangerous, because it's very rare that you... Oh my god, that LG was tasty! But my point was that it's hard to take a fight versus Sorlag without landing any damage first. She'll, in many ways, kind of just bully her way into you. Denial for the Mega. A worthy price paid. The Acid Spit doesn't do a huge amount on this map. It's definitely more for denial than damage.
2-0. 4 minutes done. 6 minutes left to go. whaz holding the angle. Just going to fire out a few of those warning rockets to at least put the pressure on and put some fear in the heart of Effortless if possible. Backing up as he repositions. Finally Effortless starting to make a move on as he's going to glide around the map. We should see another confrontation somewhat soon. But whaz really has had basically complete control of all of the pickups here. He's been essentially uncontested for the most part, Ryan.
I think a massive part of it comes down to the stack that whaz has been maintaining the entire time. It is a really smart champion pick that's allowing him to kind of muscle around the map. And Effortless not hitting as many shots as he almost should do before the fight, and also whaz not really giving him an easy angle. And even if the rail connects, as we can clearly see, whaz isn't having a hard time hitting the shots himself. So it's very much remaining even. Now, heavy gets taken. Ooh. Alright, LG's coming down. Acid Tick's going to give him some information as he runs away. And, ooh, hits the shot again. Sorlag can definitely tank with this HP. It's going to take a couple of rails for Sorlag to die at this health.
Yeah, it's rough. Still a 2-0. whaz essentially just playing the delay game, finally gets back into a fight, brought down to 88 HP. Effortless, in a much better position in terms of actually having armor and health to work with. Ooh, wow, okay.
As almost went through the teleporter, but I think actually caught the actual wall of the teleporter itself. But at this stage, whaz, he's not looking for constant frags. He's looking for this, the constant sitting around and gathering information, staying alive. Not giving up those frags. Sorlag's deceivingly high movement is always a dangerous benefit on a map like this because she can stack up, fortify, and just play the patient man's game. And that's exactly what whaz is doing right now. He's sitting around banana. You can see that the speed. One thing about Doomslayer, he's got the airborne, he's got the verticality thanks to double jump, but he hasn't got the speed. There's no way he can catch a Sorlag that's going this fast, even with Berserk popped. She can still outspeed him. Oh, shot.
She can also out-DPS him right now, it seems like. The constant tick there with the damage over time coming out from the spit, melting its way through the armor that is on the body of Effortless. whaz might be lower in terms of the HP, but the shots that he's been hitting have been deadly. However, he finally gets a taste of his own medicine, as Effortless will start to do some damage. The spawn rail will connect as well to try and cripple whaz. Oh, but look at the movement coming out.
Full speed ahead, my friend. And the heavy being taken means Effortless is in a good position, to be honest. And there's definitely room to breathe and wiggle and see what he can do to get back in this fight. He's got a nice stack to work with. Low on rockets, though. Has to get a bit of rockets. Yeah, no problem at all. There it is. Give it back to me. Oh, he walks right into the acid. And if anything, that's going to be information for whaz. The ticking down, and look how much damage he took as well. Just like that, Effortless had something that resembled control, and in the blink of an eye, it's been stolen away from him once more, and whaz maintaining this frag lead and the ability to play patient if he wants to. And there's a reason. A lot of spam coming through, thanks to the nail gun, or plasma in this case. And all Effortless can do is just listen out, try and land some damage without giving his position away too much. At this stack, he knows whaz can just steamroll him if he wants to.
Ooh, well, Tribolt. I'm going to send off some warning shots. A red flag being put up. whaz much better off in terms of his overall stack, and the movement coming into effect, but finally they get back in for another head-on battle. Effortless, very low, at least has the opportunity to grab himself some extra armor to play with. Has the rocket in hand as well, fires off the shot, it's going to barely miss, the LG coming across, but it's not going to be the kill. He's so low, Ryan, surely he actually does go down here, and that'll be the 3-1 lead with 8 minutes on the clock. If he finds another frag, this might get really awkward. The close-range confrontation doesn't work out well for Effortless. He now perishes. Oh, this is not going well.
And at the same time, whaz isn't looking at a particularly weak stack, but there's the Berserk! He knows he hasn't got armor, and the entry damage was more than sufficient for the Berserk to come in and rip and tear, doing exactly what it says on the tin. There is still, though, only one frag separating the two players. Effortless has a really good stack. Caught in the air, though, that's a bad look. Hits a rail, needs one more. Hang on a minute, there's an opportunity here, but he can't squander it. He has to make it work. Misses the rail! Oh no! Oh, he needed to hit that second to last rail so badly, and the miss delivered the death sentence, Jackie. That sucks.
Yeah, that's awful. The difference maker could have been incredible at this point. Now, though, you leave yourself in such a really, really bad predicament. You're 4-2 in terms of the total kills. You have 60 seconds left to make your decisions and really make your play count. You need 2 frags in that time to push this to a sudden death scenario, and honestly, it's going to be so hard. whaz using the spit as an area of effect denial, also getting the dot off to burn his way through any extra reserves that Effortless might have in terms of his overall stack, and it just makes it so much worse for Wear. Time ticking down as well. We're nearing the final 30 seconds, the final showdown here. And honestly, this should be whaz with a 2-0.
It's an awkward position, isn't it? You know that whaz is sitting on a acceptable stack for this stage. He's completely given up control because at this point, who needs it? And he can just kind of listen out for the warning signs. Get out when he needs to. In this position, the rocket jump comes through. Potentially, if Effortless were to get a frag there, which is hard considering his stack is unfortunately very low. He needed to get that frag immediately and then maybe get a favourable spawn. It was the only way he was going to come back from that. In this case, there is nothing to be had at all, and a map win once more is going to go in the favour of whaz, making it a 2-0, and we now are in a position where the bonus third map is coming into play. And if whaz wins this, then, I mean, he's kind of shooting himself significantly up the leaderboards.
Yeah, this is huge, really. You know, for whaz right now, this has been fantastic overall. You've already got the 2-0. That means you have basically won the entire series. You've got that under your belt at the very least, right? You're going to be happy with that at the majority of points. But there's the bonus points, which if you can walk away with, then absolutely go for it. Because, I mean, he'd be in a pretty sick position from this point forward. What, right now, ranked 6th in NA? You could be jumped up pretty highly. Oh,
yeah.
No.
That is what happened. Just caught midair, and yeah, just bad time to get up. Oh my god!
It's so awkward as well. It's such a small gap.
That was like a pull trick shot.
It was.
That's all that was. That was just a pull trick shot in Quake form.
He's been playing his beer pong. You know, that's like off the wall, straight in. That was sick. That was really nice.
I'll never get tired of seeing a berserk kill. I know they're few and far between, but when the time is right, you can still pop it. And it's the Doom fan and me is a big fan of it. But yeah, so ultimately that's going to be a 2-0 right now for whaz, but we're not finished. We still have the final map to go, which, if I can consult this real quick, it's Corrupted Keep is next. We have new graphics, so it's a bit different to follow. On the fly, I could normally just revert my eyeballs, but I probably should have practiced beforehand. But it's new graphics, you see.
Yeah.
You see the logo's a bit different.
Little squarey boys.
Yeah, little squarey boys. It was
not used to those.
It was like a list before, but now it's like squarey boys. But the information remains the same, so it should be Corrupted Keep up next as our final map. And I don't know, with how things have gone so far, I for the same reasons I would have rated whaz on Awoken, I'd rate him on Keep for the same reason, you know, because he just seems to be, he's handling the fights a lot better, and he's kind of playing around the fights better too, you know, where he's always the one, it feels like he's always in control. And you can very much take that kind of like fast, assertive dominance on a map like Awoken and put it into Keep. Even without the rail, you can still kind of, you know, put your mark in there in a similar way. Depends on the kind of champion you pick and whoever you're against, of course. But I don't really see things changing too much. This could very well be a 3-0.
Yeah, at this point, I'd actually probably agree with you and say that like whaz is just going to take this walk away with a 3-0. He just looks way more commanding in terms of the actual fights they've had, right? Like he just looks like it's all fairly easy for him, like quite smooth sailing. Predictions are definitely there. Overall, he just appears to be in command. But you never know. We're in for the action. Let's see as we strap ourselves in one final time between whaz and Effortless. Whaz with a bit of a rough start this time. Yeah,
getting caught with the wrong weapon out. Dual wield doesn't really help that much if you're not able to hit those shots, and kind of just getting peppered down by LG in the first place. Effortless had a good spawn near LG, and that immediate kind of like initial objective of trying to force them away from Mega Rim. And oh, that tri-bolt from out of literally nowhere, underestimating it, and in a split second, he died for it. That's a message to be sent, and not good for Effortless. You know, he had a great start there, forced whaz away, and then just, I can only assume he just forgot about the use of the tri-bolt from that range. Like, he just didn't expect it to be a threat.
That's actually sick, by the way. If Effortless is going to go for that on top of the candle, on top of the, you know, the little chandelier-looking torchy boy there, we've seen that before as well a couple of times. But it's just, it's still nice to see all the very creative positional placement you can do with the totems. I do enjoy it.
And we've seen what comes with it too. By the way, dual wield hurts a lot. But yeah, it's the strategies and the labbing, you know, jumping into the private maps and looking for these little tactics for the tomes. You have to look out for it. And as the player defending against it, if you're not familiar with those angles, it's kind of frustrating. We've seen firsthand today what a fully stacked up Galena can do. And you've got to watch out for it. It does introduce an extra layer, you know, something else to worry about in a game where there's already a lot to think about at any given moment.
Yeah, it's crazy. It makes you play 4D chess, even more so than the 3D chess.
You play chess, I play checkers.
Yeah,
that was a picture a long time ago.
Yeah.
You play chess, I play checkers. I don't play either, personally.
No.
I don't either. I play Quake though.
Absolutely.
Oh, whaz plays Quake. Do you see that?
That's a gamer move right there.
That was I would call this a pro gamer move.
Epic gamer moment, guys.
Did you hear that tumbleweed come down?
You know what though? To be fair to whaz, 4-1 already. 2 minutes in. Like he's actually popping off right now. He's absolutely gaming his heart out.
No, but in this position, it's kind of hard to put a lid on. You know, normally this is a champion like Galena. You know, the whole purpose is to put those totems down, and you're the one that kind of gets that snowball, and you're the one that's kind of meant to have that momentum.
Yeah.
Because you can build up these totems, and even with that totem placed, of which it served no purpose, whaz, granted, is going to turn around and not see it. There are 2 totems currently, and it's just going from bad to worse. And you know, whaz is just getting the perfect spawn traps. If there was one thing he was actually able to capitalize on Blood Covenant, it was perfect spawns. It's actually one of the things that whaz has been doing quite well throughout all of QPL, I think, is how he capitalizes on spawns. This is quite a bad map to face whaz against if he's able to do it. That was some absolutely tasty LG though, and this should be a return. Thankfully, at last, we get another frag. And there is a nice amount of totem placement down there. You know, there's 2 totems unreturned. The third one, overstack at last. Here we go. This might be the moment Effortless can start to really get some momentum on deck.
Surely that's a follow-up frag. Make it a 6-3 scoreline right here, right now. He should be able to get it. Oh, he hasn't actually picked up the kill just yet. This actually should be the capitalization, although he keeps trying to go in for those rockets. The rockets don't seem to be landing, but in the end, he does get the kill. So now there's only a 3 frag difference. He's starting to at least bring it back somewhat into the game, although he's already lost 2 of those totems. Drops himself down a second now, firing off the warning rockets. The overall bombardment has left whaz in an awful spot, and Effortless, he's back in the game.
It was going to be disaster, you know, near this jump pad. He ran out of LG ammo and almost died for it. But thankfully, he's been able to get back up, and the totems, and once more, the totems have been keeping him nice and healthy. There's always at least 1 totem on the map for him to retreat to, and the huge stack of health, he's just about to hit that 3rd point, actually, for the overstack if he needs it. He knows that whaz is nowhere near. Totems are still safe for now. He needs to think about how safe are his totems going to be. And he's going for the sneaky boy.
Yeah.
Going for the sneaky boy.
I like that.
And now if he needs to retreat, he can. He's got the benefit of the totems. Unlikely for whaz to go out of his way to take down some of them, so I actually assume one of them is safe. Pops the dual wield, trying to really pepper this damage down if he retreats too. whaz finally gets the kill and should be able to get a couple of bonus totems on the way if he can catch them. I know there was one nearby. Actually, no, he opted not to go down this hallway, so he didn't see it. Okay, small victories for Effortless so far. Oh, he's so stacked all the time. Can he even win this fight? Oh, that rocket hit its mark and then some. The fact that whaz was completely unable to take down these totems after a kill, you kind of need to, I think, start seeking them out, because the more Effortless has this avenue to get crazy damage, and also distractions too. whaz is consistently being distracted by them. He's not able to fight with his control, and now the totems are becoming a real pain in the backside for him, Jackie.
Yeah, it's turning into a massive nuisance very quickly. He also has been past that totem that's up on top of the torch about 2 or 3 times now as well as he's passed it, so it's going to actually make it a bit awkward if he doesn't spot that one soon, obviously, if he's not actually glancing for it in his eyesight. Again, the overstack is up as he's been able to plant down a 3rd and final totem. Ooh, big connection from the rocket as well, a little bit of damage transferred across. whaz does actually have the akimbo out with the dual wield.
Oh,
damage!
Ouch!
Gets him so low, but Effortless comes out in a much better position as he gets away, grabbing himself the mega. He's still got 1 totem up. He can drop another one in around 8 seconds. Oh, the rocket barely misses, but the lightning gun will tag.
He should have some small health bubbles nearby that should help him out once he places the second one. Let's not forget the passive, right? She collects health, reduces cooldown for the next turret. It's so important, and it can be juggled, you know, through all kinds of different health pickups that you can find here. He knows he's there, hits the rocket, aims a bit too far to the right side, expecting whaz to zig when he actually zagged, but in this case, okay, you can see Effortless. He's been able to stack up a little bit. He's been able to get the totems on deck. It's the importance of why you have to your best of ability, you know, it's easier said than done, stop Galena from setting up. Because the moment she does, it's night and day. You know, fresh off the spawn, how many times did we see whaz overwhelm Effortless? That's why he's on 7 frags to begin with, right? But the moment she's able to set up, that was a lovely rocket, by the way, making it 7-7. Once she sets up, it's a different game. You're fighting a different champion entirely.
It really does just make it so much harder on you. Effortless actually now takes the lead, Ryan. Alright, we've got a game on our hands here. This is actually going to be one that's going to be pretty intense. 8-7, things are changing. It's been a bit of a paradigm shift. Effortless might not have the best stack right now versus what whaz is bringing to the table, but definitely has the confidence and the momentum and wants to kick it off once again. Now the advantage going his way. Drops out another one of those effective totems to give him the buff that he wants. Drops down with the aerial assault, spamming his way through, and things are getting electrifying. What a shocker, as he will get that kill again onto whaz. 9-7, make it 10-7, as he is massacring him.
Absolute turnaround and a half for Effortless right now, and it's constantly coming down to the totems, where whaz is getting, you know, close to a frag, and he thinks, you know what, and I'm going to refrag. Oh, another sneaky boy, another sneaky boy. But he's constantly trying to get a refrag, and it's like the stack that Effortless is building back up thanks to the totems is you can't just simply run in and get it back. You have to pay attention to the fact the totems are in play. But Effortless is putting them in such weird locations. I think it's kind of hard for whaz to juggle it.
Yeah, I mean, they're really sneaky. It's good, though. You can see the Fury crafting coming in full effect there with the way it's been played. But yeah, unfortunately, that time around, you know, he hadn't actually been playing the game where you don't step on lava. He stepped on lava. That's not ideal.
Oh, and whaz, wait a second. He's starting to get back into this fight now, only 2 frags behind. Looked a little bit bleak for him, but now, look, no totems on the floor at all. And we might be going back to how things started off, where if you can stop her from setting up, whaz, pretty far away from having his dual wield, but only 1 totem available. Back up! Oh, what a shot! That rocket was absolutely sublime, and it undid a little bit of the rotation from the totems as well. That was such a pivotal rocket, I think, to just get whaz back into the fight. Dual wield just popped.
Oh, here we go.
He's forcing him away. Trying to go back. He heard the health bubbles collected. A little bit of range damage, but needs more to be done. An absolute mega gets collected. And there's a nice distance in between Heavy and Mega in timing. So actually, whaz could very well get both of these.
Think about it like this as well. 1 frag between these two. We're coming up onto the final 60 seconds as well. There's a lot to play with here, and a lot on the line as the aggression starts to come back out. whaz going in. He wants to be the one to open it up. If he ties it 11-11, this really could be anyone's game in the final 60 seconds that starts now. He's trying to hold out, waiting for the aggression to come back towards him. Mega's just come up, and Mega's just been taken. Oh, he's hot on his tails. He is going to be roaming around, trying to listen out for those audio cues, although they can't spot each other. If Effortless just delays here, Ryan, he could actually walk away with the win and deny the 3rd and final map going the way of whaz.
Certainly the last time whaz is going to go out of his way to try and take one of those crucial pickups. He knows he has to make a fight happen. Effortless is getting some good damage, but it's not going to be enough. Hang on a minute, though. The keep away, he goes in for the final pickup. I think this is the last time we're going to see him go for anything, if he even chooses to. He forgoes the Mega entirely, chooses to run down now and restack just a little bit. And yeah, Effortless, he's not going to press. He's going to sit there and gather information. If he gets this frag, it's going to be over. What a defensive rocket. whaz taking more time to retreat and try and stack up just a little bit. I hope it works. Oh no! Oh my word! Effortless! Effortless! I can't believe he gave his position away! whaz ran entirely past him. He could have just let him run past and he would have survived.
And it all comes down to this as well. He's trying to get the frag. whaz! He doesn't go Effortless even after he throws it away, Ryan. He still wins it out in the end as they go into the sudden death. My goodness. The play.
That was at the last minute. I actually think it's... oh my god, what a turnaround at the last. I was so scared for him. The moment, I mean, I know hindsight's a wonderful thing, right? We as the viewers can see the X-ray and we can just see that we have whaz's perspective and we have the X-ray of Effortless, and we know by all accounts that whaz is not looking in that direction. So we know that all Effortless has to do is sit and not do anything, because whaz would have completely ran past him and you know, none the wiser, right? But in the heat of the moment, of course Effortless just makes the assumption that whaz is going to check both sides, so he tries to get the shot off before, because that's what, if someone's paying absolute attention, that is probably what the best thing to do would have been. But yeah, good that he was able to pick it up at the last second anyway, because that was almost complete and utter disaster.
That would have been crazy. I think this is probably the tensest game we've had the entire way through, actually, of the night. It was so back and forth the entire time. That last, like, 15 seconds as well, just ridiculous in the way it all went down. Definitely packed full of fantastic moments. Smart plays from the Galena the entire time. A lot of totem placements that if you didn't know about, definitely write those down. Keep them in mind for the next time you're jumping on to play a little bit of Quake Champions.
Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, being able to get and turn it into a 2-1 at the last second, that was, to be honest, that was important for whaz to try and make that 3-0 because, as like I said, right, if we're in this match, if we're in this series where a lot of players in this part of the Pro League are essentially trying to fight for that kind of mid-rank, any amount of 3-0s you can bring will just almost like completely assist your chances of avoiding relegation period, you know, and that's for a lot of these guys kind of like what they're trying to stay as far away as possible from. However, if it becomes a 2-1, you know, it's a bit more evenly split.
Yeah.
And this even split of the players in this part of the leaderboard, I guess, just maintains itself after today's result.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to stagnate too much. They're not going to drop into a position where, you know, it looks like, oh no, they're going to have to worry about relegation. You do stay fairly similar to where you are. It's unfortunate it wasn't the 3-0 because whaz really did put up a fantastic fight in the first 2 maps, although you cannot take it away from what Effortless did here on the 3rd and final map. It was just all-out warfare the entire time, fantastically played, smart placements, a lot of really sick moves that gave him the edge, and just a wonderful clutch there into the overtime as well. So,
This was the
fair
moment.
play.
Yeah, he completely wasn't looking that way at all, and but it's the turnaround.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he clearly hears him coming and shoots the rocket on prediction of him coming around the corner, but he'd taken so much damage, and that was just some absolutely delicious LG at the last second. But perfect demonstration of studying with Galena. Like, he had those totem locations. Some of them are really, you know, unique, and yeah, just nice to see a player doing their homework and reaping the rewards for just a couple of totems that went undetected, enough to keep him overstacked in the moments it really counted.
Yeah, it was good to see, though. It's one of those where it's like those slight nuances that just give you an extra edge overall, but more than anything, it was just the overall precision he had. Going into that last map, it seemed like he was warmed up, like, by far. The LG was entirely precise pretty much the entire time. He was hitting some nasty, nasty smooth shots.
Well, we have 1 series left of the night and 1 series alone. Chain versus Dahang, something that I've personally been looking forward to all day, and we're moments away from figuring out how things are going to pan out. This is the Quake Pro League. Your boy Jackie, my name is Ketchup, and we'll see you guys in a few minutes' time after a short break.